is go. We've got Epsilon music again, by the way. Whilst we wait for YarSkor to load, we may as well do some quickfire information. So we're on Tournament Bowl. As you can see, for those of us on the recording, it is currently 2-2. So this is the final deciding game. And it is Russia versus Latin Confederation. YarSkor actually picked his color for this final one, which is nice. Warring instead RNGing into yellow. Tournament Bowl seems to be a popular deciding map. I think most of our deciding matches have in fact been on Tournament Bowl. Right, anyway, okay, I was a bit nervous about whether the game had lagged into oblivion there. In the top, playing as the yellow Latin Confederation, we have SW Warring. His opponent playing as the red Russia, we have YarSkor. Okay, I'm going to give them 3 minutes to tell me if they feel that it is too laggy to play, at which point we'll find a different tunnel server. Which is a bit odd, but considering it's on one of the Chinese servers, and it was acting fine. It's the same server that we've been using since the start of this series. Anyway, dog walls are starting to emerge in the center here, as it looks like... Oh! Hey! YarSkor's engineer makes it into the oil derrick in just the nick of time. His dog's valiantly buying time for that engineer to make it. Looks like... server's not having a good day today. I think it's mostly stabilized. Anyway, so welcome to Tournament Bowl. As I've already commented, it's been a fairly popular deciding map, mostly because nobody's really had the will to ban it, but likewise nobody really wants to play it either. So, but I think this map was originally seen in CNC3, where it basically follows the fundamental same design. You have all tip field there, blue tip field on either side here, and then a larger tip field over there as well. So I think you had a very smaller tip field here, except it wasn't blue tip. But in this case, in CNC in RA2, we've made it gem fields over here and here, so you can get a nice economy boost, with which YarSkor has elected to go for a double refinery. Okay, I'm going to interpret that as YarSkor thinks it's fine. Warring hasn't said anything either, so... anyway, Warring also having elected to go double refinery. In fact, he's gonna... I think... Well, no, he hasn't actually, no. I'm just too slow on the uptake. But so Warring's gone for a single refinery double war factory play. He's base crawling towards that huge gem pit on the right there. Whereas YarSkor going for a much more conventional play. We've got double refinery here, put the war factory over there, base crawl over here to put your third refinery down there, and play a lot more conservatively. Warring definitely being greedy to put too fine a point on it, really. But this is definitely... If it pays off though, it'll pay off quite handsomely. The question is, does YarSkor even see it? I'm not sure what the scouting situation was like at the start of this game. So I don't know definitively whether YarSkor's seen this huge crawl, and more importantly, whether he'll be able to take advantage of it. Oh, we've got a couple of garrison fights happening over here as well. Warring enters the garrison, and so does YarSkor. It's Warring's garrison who's going to be suffering most of the losses there as they get cleaned up, and only one surviving conscript lives to tell the tale. Got a couple of Jaguar tanks emerging out now from Warring. Triple War Factory. Who's going to commit? I imagine, yeah, there's the ore refinery. There's more war miners coming out now. So he's going to be going all in on the gems. Well, maybe not so much all in. He hasn't moved his initial miners yet. But he is definitely committing to it. I imagine there's going to be another test reactor. Okay, yeah, he is moving the war miners over here now. This test reactor probably goes down here, then another refinery, just to make sure he's got all the cash flow he can. Conscript engagement happens in front of YarSkor's base. We've got the Jaguar tanks as well, and there's no answer here for the Jaguars from YarSkor. Except, actually, no, we do see Shockies coming as well. Jaguars don't even get that decent of a crush in. He loses 2 of them. I reckon YarSkor could probably take this fight, and he tries to do so as well, but Warring decides discretion is the better part here. As he moves the Jaguars off to the right, splits off with the conscripts as they come back in to harass. Airfield is the next response here from YarSkor, which is an interesting play. He's mined out most of his original gems, so there's tiny squares still left over. He has not mined them out. Foxtrot comes in an effort to try and thin the conscript horde, gets a couple of kills off. Could see a Dust Devil, I think. I think Dust Devil's what, tier 2 though? This shows you how often I play Soviets, is that I forget what tech their stuff is at. More conscripts come in, there's the split though. Jaguars dive down on the left, shock troopers move to engage. But the Warring has his own Foxtrot come in. Doesn't actually kill anything yet though. But it is there, it's made its presence known. There's the other refinery. Okay, he's gonna go for a second airbase. Okay, interesting play. Meanwhile, more refineries coming in from YarSkor. As he moves to try and take out some conscript blob. The pride of the working class even gets involved as well. I'm not sure what he's doing here, but that is a lot of toasted conscript. Those Foxtrots definitely getting their money's worth. There's the next refinery. YarSkor not exactly hard up for cash. He's going to lose his war factory if he's not careful. The Shockies come in to respond in a timely manner, but it could still die. Oh no, yeah, that's a dead war factory. It's a good kill from Warring, but he loses almost all of the Jaguars doing it. But considering he's on triple war factory, he's going to get a 3rd airbase. Bloody hell. And he's mined out most of the gems. I don't think that's a problem for Warring. He can replace those Jaguars, no problem. Conscripts are cleaned up on the right-hand side, though. That's going to be harder to remass simply because of the time it takes to train conscripts, even if they are trained fairly quickly. Foxshots come in, one goes down, second one loses almost all of its hit points. They're looking for the kill on the Shockies, but they decide not to. They go for the Tesla reactor instead. They get it. Doesn't put YarSkor on low power though. Second Foxtrot comes in. It does get shot down. YarSkor's own Foxtrots come in, toast some more conscripts. The Shockies move up. The Jaguars have already been replaced. As it looks like YarSkor trying to catch them, but the Jaguars are just that much faster, obviously, than a guy with 2 legs. YarSkor cannot afford to leave his main base exposed, and the Jaguars, simply with their mobility, force the response to the main threat from YarSkor. They dive in on another Tesla reactor. They're probably going to get this barracks out here as well. No, they decide... No. Yep, they do decide to retreat. Simply put, YarSkor cannot attack out, but likewise, Warring cannot kill or land any decisive blows against YarSkor. Tesla reactor goes down for Warring, and that does in fact put him on low power. YarSkor sees the base crawl, he sees the triple air base. He knows, at least he knows what Warring's base looks like now. But how he decides to play this is anyone's guess. He goes for another Tesla reactor, just trying to fix the power problem, because he does not even have radar right now. He's going to need another Tesla reactor, but no, he decides to go for a second airbase. He's going to try and match Warring at his own game, as both players have relative parity in terms of money count now. And they're both mining ore, so sudden income is no longer out the window. We've achieved, but Warring has production superiority, which could prove to be the deciding factor in this game, simply being able to produce not 3 times as fast, but I forget what the modifiers are. No doubt Morton will yell at me afterwards for that. Random Jaguar tank gets picked up along with its desperate driver. The Jaguars drive into the main army of YarSkor. Get a couple of kills there, but the conscripts aren't too far behind. It's a good sandwich though, but definitely in YarSkor's favour though. He's got the stronger army. Look at the Shockies go! Absolutely cleave through all of the Jaguars. They're gonna go for the one of the war factories, I think, but the Foxtrots come in. Doesn't want to stay in the flames, but he does kill a sizable number of Foxtrots with that, and the shock trooper number is still absurdly high. Sentry guns coming to desperately try and save the situation, but it's not enough. There are no Jaguar tanks left to throw at the meat grinder. The production superiority is gone. It is now production parity, but it might not even be that soon. But YarSkor decides to retreat. Stays in front of him though, putting the pressure on. The Foxtrots come back. Loses 1, loses 3. Doesn't lose 4, but they still get good damage on. The conscripts come up in an effort to try and clean up, but the Tigers are there. The Shockies simply have too much hit points and deal too much damage. This game is decidedly tipping in YarSkor's favour. Quintuple airbase from Warring, but it's not enough. They're not filled with Foxtrots. He's been hemorrhaging Foxtrots, as a matter of fact. Also, we have triple airbase from YarSkor. They pick up the only half-track in the area. Those Jaguar tanks are basically free reign for aircraft. More Foxtrots go down. Out of 5 that's sorted, only 1 returns. The Jaguars can't really do anything. They're sandwiched between 2 shock trooper groups. 1, 2... Well, not quite 3 yet, but one of them's on 1 hit point. The miners are exposed now as well. Desperately trying to shoot back, but they don't do a lot of damage in. Ooh. Instant shelter from YarSkor as well to add insult to injury. The Jaguar tanks just get cleaved, and it is looking like this may be GG for Warring, as I do not see a way out of this. MCV is going to be next. Easily has the damage to do it. Which is such a shame. It was a strong performance from Warring at the start. Played greedy, definitely had the army to try and make it work, but he was unable to land anything decisive. If he'd killed the Field Bureau at the start instead of the War Factory, I reckon this game probably could have gone a very different direction. The Pride of the Working Class come in an effort to desperately try and fix the situation, but they're not doing enough. They get a couple of kills in, but it can't save. It's not going to salvage anything. The MCV goes down. Foxtrots come back. There's no Tigers to shoot them down, but there's nothing to stop the Shockies just simply walking up to the airbase and killing them all on the ground. The Tigers are back, and they're angry. Well, the Foxtrots are in the air. They're still alive, but there's no airbase, and there won't be one. Yep, and they all die. He has the butt hover over his own refinery. They crash on the refinery. I think Warring probably sees the humor in that. A Jaguar's coming in and attempt to try and fix the situation, but it's infantry. They can't do shit about that, especially when they can't crash. And here come YarSkor's own Foxtrots. As they take out half of the half of that task force of Jaguars. Because they look like they're going to claim another miner, try and make the best of a bad situation. So he calls in a repair drone as well. I'm surprised he even has the money for that. But actually, no, I'm not. Just looked. But 1 war factory, 8,700, 2 Tesla reactors, a sentry gun, and a dream. But I don't think that dream is going to save him. It's not even the main army. Actually it is, but the Tigers are still there. Still got a lot of Foxtrots. Even though we had to redo this series, even though YarSkor conceded the second game, which you can find an explanation for that mess in the last game, the 4th game. But there we go. YarSkor finally wins the series, not 3-0, but 3-2.